Hey folks, thanks for coming. This is mini concert number 279 at the usual eclectic array tonight. First up is the John Prine song. I think he's given us life advice in this one. She was a level-headed dancer on the road to alcohol. I was just a soldier on my way to Montreal, where she pressed her chest against me about the time the jukebox broke. She gave me a peck on the back of the neck. These are the words she spoke. Blow up your TV, throw away your paper, go to the country and build your home. Plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, try to find Jesus on your own. Well, I sat there at the table and I acted real naive, 'cause I knew that topless lady had something up her sleeve. Well, she danced around the bar room, she did the hoochie coo, she sang her song all night long, telling me what to do. Blow out your TV, throw away your paper, go to the country and build your home. Plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, and try to find Jesus on your own. Well, I was young and hungry, about to leave that place. Just as I got up to leave, she looked me in the face. I said, you must know the answer. She said, no, but I'll give it a try. So to this very day we've been living our way. Here is the reason why. We blew up our TVs and threw away our papers, went to the country, built us a home, had a lot of children, fed them on peaches, and they all found Jesus on their own. Yeah, we blew up our TVs, threw away our papers, went to the country, built us a home, had a lot of children, fed them on peaches, and they all found Jesus on their own. So that's called alternately Spanish Pipe Dream or Blow Up Your TV. Next up is a Irish folk song. This is actually the very first song in the 279 mini concert series. I was riding over the Cork and Kerry mountains, I met with Colonel Farrell, his money he was counting. First I drew me pistols, then I drew me rapier, saying stand and deliver, or I am your bold deceiver. Push a ring on my door and went down. Whack ball with daddy-o, whack ball with daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, I counted out his money, it made a pretty penny. I took the money home and I gave it to me Jenny. She sighed and swore she loved me and she never would deceive me. But the devil take the women, for they always lie so easy. Push a ring on my door and went down. Whack ball the daddy-o, whack ball the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went into me chamber for to take a slumber, to dream of gold and jewels, and sure it was no wonder Jenny took for the slaughter. Push a ring on the door, I'm down. Whack ball the daddy-o, whack ball the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Next morning early, before I rose to travel, came a band of footmen and likewise Colonel Farrell. I went to draw me pistol, she'd stole away me rapier, but a prisoner I was taken. I couldn't shoot the water, push a ring on the door, I'm down. Whack ball the daddy-o, whack ball the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, they took me to the town with a judge all a-writing for robbing Colonel Farrell on Kilgarra Mountain. But they didn't take me piss, so I knocked the jailer down. I bid farewell to this tight-fisted town. Push a ring on the door, I'm down. Whack ball the daddy-o, whack ball the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I'd like to find you, brother, the one that's in the army. Don't know where he's stationed, be it Cork or in Killarney. Together we go roaming through the mountains of Kilkenny. I swear he'd treat me better than me darling Snort and Jenny. Push a ring on the door, I'm down. Whack ball the daddy-o, whack ball the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Some take delight in the carriages a-rolling. Some take delight in the hurley and the bowling. But I take delight in the juice of the barley, courting pretty women till the morning oh so early. Push a ring on the door, I'm down. Whack ball the daddy-o, whack ball the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Push a ring on the door, I'm down. Whack ball the daddy-o, whack ball the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. So that is called alternately Whiskey in the Jar, Kilgarra Mountain, or The Highwayman. And next up is a breaking up ballad. It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye my soul is turning. In your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, I didn't mean to be unkind. Well, you know that was the last thing on my mind. You got a reason aplenty for going. This I know, this I know. For the weeds have been steadily growing. Please don't go, please don't go. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, I didn't mean to be unkind. Well, you know that was the last thing on my mind. As I lay in my bed in the morning without you, without you. Every song in my heart goes a-borning without you, without you. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, I didn't mean to be unkind. Well, you know that was the last thing on my mind. As we walk on, our thoughts keep a-tumbling round and around, round and around. Underneath our feet, the subways are rumbling underground, underground. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. Well, you know that was the last thing on my mind. Yeah, you know that was the last thing on my mind. So that's called The Last Thing on My Mind.
That's the first song I ever heard you play live at Arlen's-Own.
Well, you sure it wasn't Murphy's Pub?
I think it was at Arlen's-Own.
Okay. It was one of the two, anyway. So next up is a Stan Rogers song. Stan Rogers, Canadian singer and songwriter. He died in a plane fire. He wrote a lot of nautical kind of stuff, but this is more by in the nature of work ethic. I often take these night shift walks when the foreman's not around. I turn my back to the tooling stack and make for open ground. Far out beyond the tank farm fence where the gas flare makes no sound. I forget the stink and I always think back to that eastern town. I remember back 6 years ago, this western life I chose, when every day the news would say a factory's going to close. Well, I could have stayed to take the dough, but I'm not one of those. I take nothing free, and that makes me an idiot, I suppose. I bid farewell to that eastern town I never more will see. It's work I must, so I eat this dust and breathe refinery. Well, I miss the green and the woods and streams, and I don't like cowboy clothes. But I like being free, and that makes me an idiot, I suppose. So come all you young fellows that been driven to the ground. This western life's no paradise, but it's better than lying down. Well, the streets aren't clean and there's nothing green, the hills are dirty ground. And the government dole will rot your soul back there in your hometown. So bid farewell to that eastern town you never more will see. There's self-respect and a steady check in this refinery. Well, you'll miss the green and the woods and streams, and the dust will fill your nose. But you'll be free, just like me, an idiot, I suppose. But you'll be free, just like me, it. Next up is a song by Ocean from the late 70s. One of the most unusual war songs I've ever heard. Listen, children, to the story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley folk below. On a mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath a stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing on the judgment day, but on the bloody morning after, one tin soldier rides away. So the people of the valley sent a message up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they'd kill. Came an answer from the kingdom, with our brothers we will share all the riches of our mountain, all the treasure buried there. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing on the judgment day, but on the bloody morning after, one tin soldier rides away. Well, then the valley rose with anger. Mount your horses, draw your swords, and they killed the mountain people, so they won their just reward. Then they stood beside the treasure on the mountain, dark and red, turned the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was all it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing on the judgment day, but on the bloody morning after, one tin soldier rides away. So that's called One Tin Soldier, and I meant to say that that's for Linda, because she says she likes that song, and I hope she's feeling better. Thanks for coming. That's mini concert number 279.